Leadership isn't about titles. It's not about how many people answer to you. It's not about charisma or control. It's about character. True leadership is measured by what you do when things go wrong, when the pressure is on, when no one is watching, when people are looking to you not for perfection, but for presence. The Stoics knew this long before modern management books existed. Marcus Aurelius led an empire through war, betrayal, and plague, all while writing daily reminders to himself about humility, patience, and reason. He didn't see leadership as domination. He saw it as service, as discipline, as choosing virtue over ego, even when it hurt. Today we confuse leadership with performance. We think it's about being loud, or constantly right, or always in charge. But in Stoic philosophy, leadership begins with self-mastery. Because if you can't lead yourself, your impulses, your fears, your pride, how can you expect to lead anyone else? In this video, we'll break down 3 Stoic principles that build powerful, trustworthy, and resilient leaders. Whether you're leading a business, a team, a family, or just trying to lead your own life better, these are the tools that ground you in wisdom, not ego. Part 1. Lead yourself first. You can't lead anyone if you can't lead yourself. That's where Stoicism starts. Not with strategy, not with speeches, not with titles, with discipline. Because when things go wrong, and they will, people don't need a boss. They need someone stable, someone clear, someone who doesn't collapse under pressure or spin in emotion. And that kind of presence only comes from inner work. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome. He commanded armies, ruled over millions. But every morning he sat down and wrote privately to himself, not about power or glory, but about self-control, about not letting anger win, about staying humble, about mastering his own mind before trying to guide others. He understood, if I want to lead others, I must first rule myself. You can't ask others to be calm when you're chaotic. You can't expect people to be honest when you cut corners. You can't demand discipline when you keep making excuses for yourself. Leadership begins in silence, when no one's watching. What time do you wake up? How do you speak to people who can't benefit you? What do you do when your plan falls apart? Who are you when things get hard? Stoicism doesn't care about what you say. It cares about what you do. Are you consistent? Are you fair? Are you clear-headed? Or are you ruled by your mood? Too many people want to lead before they've done the work. They want respect without showing restraint. They want loyalty without modeling integrity. They want to be followed without ever proving they're worth following. But Stoic leadership doesn't chase popularity. It chases principle. Epictetus, born a slave, said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself?" He didn't have control over the world, but he had control over himself. And that made him powerful in a way that no position ever could. So if you want to be a great leader, don't start with vision boards and business plans. Start with your habits. Start with your attitude. Start with how you handle boredom, stress, disrespect, fatigue. Lead yourself in the small moments, because that's where credibility is built. People follow consistency. People follow strength that doesn't need to shout. People follow leaders who lead by example, not by force. So ask yourself, am I the kind of person I'd want to follow? Do I show up the way I expect others to? Is my life a reflection of the standards I preach? That's where confidence comes from. Not hype, not external praise, but the quiet knowing that you are solid, even when no one sees it. And from that place, you don't have to demand respect. You earn it. Because the most powerful leader is the one who's mastered the only thing that truly matters, themselves. Part 2. Stay calm under pressure. Pressure doesn't build character, it reveals it. And in leadership, pressure is constant. Deadlines, setbacks, conflict, crisis. People looking to you for answers when you don't even have them for yourself. So the question is, can you stay calm when things fall apart? Most people can't. They panic, they blame, they react out of fear or frustration, and in doing so, they infect the people around them with chaos. But Stoic leadership is the opposite. It's about being the stillness in the storm, the one person in the room who isn't shaken, not because you're numb, but because you're anchored. Marcus Aurelius lived through war, betrayal, and plague. He didn't have the luxury of comfort, but through it all, he stayed composed. Because he didn't try to control the chaos, he controlled himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's the core of Stoic leadership. You don't get to choose what life throws at you, but you do get to choose how you meet it. And calm isn't weakness, it's restraint. It's knowing that a single impulsive reaction can do more damage than the problem itself. It's understanding that leadership isn't about proving you're right. It's about responding with clarity. The Stoics believed emotion wasn't the enemy. Being ruled by emotion was. So, how do you stay calm under pressure? You pause, you breathe, you create space between the stimulus and your response. You ask, what matters most right now? What's in my control and what's not? Will this matter a month from now, a year? You ground yourself, not in how you feel, but in what you value. This doesn't mean you become robotic. It means you remain reliable. It means people know when things go wrong, they're steady. They don't lash out. They don't collapse. They lead. That kind of leadership builds trust. It makes people feel safe, not because you have all the answers, but because you have the presence to face uncertainty without flinching. Anyone can lead when things are easy, but it's during the hard times, the failures, the public mistakes, the unexpected turns, when true leaders are revealed. So the next time tension rises, slow down. Feel the heat, but don't let it set you on fire. Lead not from ego, but from equanimity. Because the most powerful person in any room is the one who doesn't lose themselves, even when everyone else does. That's not just leadership, that's Stoic leadership. Part 3. Choose what's right over what's easy. Leadership is full of crossroads. Do you say what's true or what's comfortable? Do you cut corners or do you hold the line? Do you play to the crowd? Or do what's right, even if no one claps? Most people choose the easy road because the right one is heavier. It costs more. It asks you to delay gratification, to risk being misunderstood, to sacrifice your ego for the sake of principle. But that's exactly what separates real leaders from the rest. Stoic leaders don't serve popularity. They serve virtue. The Stoics believed leadership was not about outcomes, but about values. Seneca said, "A good character, when established, becomes immutable." In other words, the right thing stays the right thing, even when it's inconvenient. That means you don't lie to protect your image. You don't shift blame when things go wrong. You don't betray your word because it's easier to apologize than to follow through. You do the hard thing because it's the right thing, not because it feels good, not because it guarantees success, but because it reflects who you are. That's what builds legacy. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He had ultimate power. He could have ruled with ego, demanded loyalty, punished dissent. But instead, he wrote to himself daily about humility, restraint, and justice. He reminded himself, just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. That's the Stoic code. Do your duty, stick to your principles. Let the results fall where they may. Because you can't control how others respond. You can't control if doing the right thing makes you liked. You can only control whether you chose it anyway. And here's the quiet truth most people never realize. Doing what's right, over and over again, even when no one sees it. That's what builds confidence. That's what builds self-respect. That's what builds the kind of leadership that lasts long after titles fade. When people trust that you stand for something, they follow you not out of fear, but out of belief. They know you won't fold just because the pressure rises. You won't shift just to stay comfortable. You won't betray your principles just to fit in. You'll do what's right, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So ask yourself, where have I been taking the easy way out? What standard am I holding myself to, even when no one's watching? Do I want to be admired for shortcuts or remembered for integrity? That's the Stoic way. You do what's right, not for applause, not for attention, but because that's what real leadership requires. And in the end, you may not be the most popular, but you'll be the one people remember when it matters most, because courage, clarity, and character always outlast noise.